Hello. Are we? Are we not? It's exciting. Oh, yay. It looks good. It looks good. It seems like we're alive. The first ever Salespiration in You See Me Speak English, or You Hear Me Speak English, whatever it is. A warm welcome to the Salespiration on the feminist economy side, and also later on the YouTube channel, wherever you are watching that. It's exciting. It was a long time in the making. Who know me or who knows me a little bit better knows I have a big English speaking crowd, not only internationally, but also many, many expats. And it was always like nagging me that I'm doing so much stuff in German, since I'm developing most of everything I do in English and working also with international clients. So here we are. Since Feminist Economy was formed in the early beginning of 2020, it was our goal to go global. It was a little bit on the long hand, but you know, things happened, and here we are. Feminist Economy is a global idea, a global company, and a global movement. So of course we need global content, and at least I should go back to a language I speak, and that's English. So hear me out, you hear me speaking English. So what is Salespiration? So starting off our weekly Salespiration format in English for you. Salespiration is an idea I formed many years ago, and the idea together combine sales and inspiration on a high quality level. So not the fluff you probably get somewhere, but literally the heart, the good, and everything else you need for sales. Why Salespiration, and how does Salespiration mix with feminist economy, and figuring out if you and that format is your format. So bear with me. So sales is an essential skill for every entrepreneur. I would say it's the most essential skill you can form and you can build up over time. But the thing is, and now feminist economy comes in as a name and also as an idea. The more conscious you are about your surrounding, the more empathy you have. Remember, I have a company which is called Empathic Business. The more you do on that, the more sales feel troubling. The more you feel like, I don't want to push people. I don't want to manipulate people. So that's why sales from a feminist, and we're talking about intersectional feminist, or about all genders, all races, all colors, everything. We want to include everyone who is behind the idea that we need a more equal world, that we all want to make an impact. And that's where feminist economy kind of stands as a name, and where the most entrepreneurs struggle. You want to make an impact, but you don't want to be salesy. You don't want to do hard sales and pushy sales, but you deep down know your clients have to figure out that you can help them. You have to tell them what you're doing, what you're good at, and why it is now a good idea to buy your products, your services, or your ideas. So in that kind of field of polarity, where you are a heart-centered entrepreneur, which has the idea, as we have as feminist economy, entrepreneurs make a change in the world. We can be impactfulness. We can change the world. And especially being feminist is not only about gender, we called it feminist economy for a reason, but we see the struggles of the female entrepreneurs and all these who are even less privileged, who are coming from an even more hard position, that you know you do that job for your community. You're not building a company only for yourself. You never bought into the dumb idea of lifestyle business. It's all about the glam. It's all about the shiny cars and all about the stuff. You had the idea to make a change. You wanted to build a company to support your family. You wanted to build a company to make a change in the world, to change your community, to have financial resources to make the life better of your children, of everyone around you. The lifestyle idea was kind of sometimes, which is always kind of a trigger for us. But in the end, it's more like, yeah, that's not what I'm living for. And that's not why I'm getting up tomorrow morning to buy me on a credit card a shiny new car. No, not really. So that's kind of the whole idea of behind feminist economy. You are a human-centered entrepreneur, or at least you want to get there. You want to have every stakeholder. You're not about shareholder value and lifestyle entrepreneur. You're about that. But that comes with a certain kind of price because you're so aware of your surroundings. You're so aware, you have so much empathy and so much to give. So that bad world of sales, a bad S word, not the other one, we can talk about that, but the bad S word kind of triggers you deep down to the core. And I know that from many, many years of doing that job, being called a sales queen, being the queen of sales conversion and all that stuff. And always there's one question: how do you do a conscious sales? How do you do a human-centered sales? A sales which is not pushy, where I'm not kind of breaking myself into manipulation or anything else. So that's what we are here for, and I'm here for you now weekly. I'm trying to get you into the spirit that sales can be something very, very powerful. That is also the essential sales skills you need. Because at the baseline, the best idea, if nobody buys it, your fridge won't be full. And my job is to get your fridge full. That's kind of the basic idea of my job here any kind of company I run and have. My job is to make your fridge full. And after the fridge is full, we kind of take care of everything else because we have to get out of that hustle mode just for a fridge and to an impact hustle mode to change the world. So how do we get there? By sales. It's kind of a dirty secret. So if you look outside of the world, people will tell you, you have to do that, you have to do that. And there are weird concepts out there. But then the baseline, which people try to avoid to tell you, is you have to do sales. It's not only about marketing. Marketing is the first point in all that stuff. Get the attention of people, that you listen to them. But then there's a whole process following. And sales is always has that people who are doing sales, you have a certain kind of picture in mind. It's very loud, it's very male, it's very hard, it's very manipulative, and all that things. And also, if you listen to that video and watch it and comment on what your perception is of sales. What do you think if you hear, I have to do sales, or what person do you have in mind? And that's not how I do sales, and that's not how I teach sales, and that's not how we develop sales strategies and whole business strategies. Our idea is totally different, and that's why we're going to start off as a sales inspiration, not on the skills side, but on the sales mindset side. If you ask me, and that's always a statement, mindset matters most, I'm not. No, mindset doesn't matter most, but it can be, especially if you struggle with your sales. It can be one of the biggest obstacles. So sales skills are the real thing you need to learn. But without yourself included in that game, your mind in the game, you cannot reach for your skills. You probably had, everyone has had that. We had that one test where you're sitting there, you learned, you did your best, but for the sake of God, you can't remember shit. You kind of blacked out. And that's kind of a thing with sales too, and that's why sales mindset is so important, to start off and then circle back. But always remember, if you're not good at sales, there's always at least two sides. It's the skill side and the mindset side. But we start out with mindset, and mindset done right. So the first thing out of that video you should take, hopefully also the idea of course feminist economy and human-centered, and that's all about. But the first idea is, don't blame yourself and don't buy into the idea that mindset matters most. Because of people telling you the idea of mindset matters most, the blame is on you because your mind isn't in the right space. That's totally not true. Because mindset is a much too big concept, and it's also a concept which was hijacked by many stuff which shouldn't be hijacked. So don't blame yourself. Don't buy into the idea that mindset matters most. But on the other hand, mindset is important. That's a true sentence. So how do we start out on mindset, and how can you help yourself? First of all, acknowledge that sales skills and sales as a general concept, mindset, skills, all that stuff is essential for your business. People need to buy your stuff. And the switch you should learn on your sales mindset and follow up by the proper sales skills. It's not about selling people. It's about letting people buy. So if your mindset and your ideas about sales is that hard and pushy salesy thing we all hate so much, that pressure, now you have to buy because I was either polite to you or whatever, all that stuff. It's not about that. That's always a dirty sales trick. And watch out, there are. My legendary dirty sales tricks also will come in English. So I'm gonna do that also. So just that you're aware, they also are coming. I have a whole series on German speaking explaining dirty sales tricks, and I was very asked for doing that in English too. So side note, will come up. But if you are in that position and everyone knows how uncomfortable it feels if you're being kind of like they push the sales on you and you literally feel the sales funnel where you like push through and squeeze through, it's awful. So why would you do that? And that's where the sales mindset comes into, and because you don't want to do that, you don't do anything. Bad idea, because back to the full fridge. So what you have to change first of mind, the idea is it's not about being salesy, it's about giving the people the chance to buy from you. That is also a sales process, but it comes out from the psychology and the position of being client-centered, being on a client psychology instead of a sales psychology. And that switch, first of all, has to happen in your mind before it can happen in the mind of your buyer. So if you are still in pushy sales, and people push back, because like if you push, people push back for sure, because it's kind of in our nature and essential to do that. But if you don't push it on them, but you be open so that they can buy from you, it's much more easier on both sides. So back to step one, don't put the blame on you and don't buy the shit about mindset matters most. Third point on that is go into the position that it's not about pushing someone to going to sell, that you have to sell stuff. It's about that people can buy from you and that it's an open room and there can be good reasons that they are saying no. Big shift in your own perception you should work on. And the last point is back to that what I already talked about, client versus selling psychology. In a selling psychology, every process is built up on that you are saying yes. So everything I do will be in that space, in that room, and in that rhetorical argument about that people are saying yes to what I'm offering. That's why there are dirty sales tricks if you do that from the start on. But the second is client psychology is about that your client, your possible client, can say no because there are good reasons. They probably don't have the financial means, or funny stuff, they really don't need it. Doesn't matter the product or the service you offer. But if you start out with an open conversation, you open up the room that we can explore the possibility if that's the right product, the right service for you. And if it's not, it's totally fine. We had a great open room conversation. It shifts. But that shift has to happen in your mind first, because sales means leadership. Step up your game. Come into the position that you as an entrepreneur, and especially a female or feminist entrepreneur, you have to step up your game. You have to step up your leadership game because you're leading your client, and there is a chance that a client says no. But first of all, it starts with you. It starts with you that you understand that in sales especially, a leadership position from you is required. If you don't lead, your possible clients will go to service providers or product providers, whatever, who does them for you. Why? Because we live in strange times. We already lived before everything what was happening in 2020. We already were exhausted. We had so much information. We were desperate for someone cutting down our options, for telling us what to do, for giving us feedback. And when we are exhausted, we cannot check in properly if our counterpart has the best of our minds. If they or them are really looking out for our best interests, or just want something from us. In business, mainly our money. So that's why we are on a global and very also political scale always searching for that leadership. Not in a good way always. But you, as an entrepreneur, and especially as a feminist entrepreneur, the idea of a sales mindset done right is these things. And also to come to peace with you that sales means leadership from you. But a good leader is always open for suggestions, is open for feedback, and open up the room. It's not running the ship over everything. So that's kind of the room where you have to go into your sales mindset. That's the starting point of everything. And that's kind of why you now know why we do these stuffs, why we do Salespiration, why we do it in different languages, why we're offering you content which is not about now buy, and now it's a blinky button you have to buy from me. What we want to not only empower you, but always enable you with every piece of content we deliver to you. With every nugget, it should be not only an inspiration, it should be something you put into action. Because on the end point, and that's why mindset doesn't matter most, if you don't take action, there's nothing going to happen. You can think and manifest the shit out of things, but if you don't take action, nothing going to happen. Nothing going to happen. So while the mindset part has also an action part. So it's not about watching that video and be inspired. It's watching that video and put it into use for you. So figure out, do I blame myself? Do I bought into dumb ideas? Do I still do kind of that pushy sales thing? Do I open up a room? Do I want to say people yes? Or am I open to they can make their own decisions? Am I in a leadership position, and what is necessary to come to that as a leadership position? And there's always that the why is so important. The why is important, but not as important as people are going to tell you, really. It's kind of also kind of a bad marketing and sales trick. But the why is important, and you should figure out why sales for you is important. Why do you do that? And not why do you do your job? Why do you do sales? Why do you do that content? So am I here for just like myself, or am I offering something for you that you can do that? So figure out your why, not based on your business. People don't buy that why, really. Sorry, it was a nice marketing trick. It's not how people buy. But it's about why you offer advice, why you offer that sales content, and can you combine these things? So that's why we do Salespiration. We want to be role models for you. I want to be your good CEO who takes that leadership position for you, to that you see, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Still white, but still not male, and still autistic. So it should be about that. A Salespiration should always, and your inspiration you offer, the content you offer should be always that. Be a good role model, be a good leadership, and make a sales out of that, and not fall into other stuff. And that's why we start out on the sales mindset part. We always have to start with ourselves to come to that position that I take myself seriously as an entrepreneur, or considering sales as such a life skill, you need it even in corporate life, because if nobody buys your project inside of the corporation, not going to help either. But take myself seriously so that as soon as I'm in real life with other people, I'm safe, I'm good with myself, and I can just be about other people. So coming from the position, taking myself seriously and taking a leadership role for you, I have to switch gears from it's all about me to being myself in that, to it's being all about you. What do you need from me? Starts with me thinking about buying all stuff, and then letting my stuff be my problem and taking care of your problems. That's why we start out with Salespiration and sales mindset. So that was our first Salespiration. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you loved it even more, share it. If you have comments, questions, or anything, down below. You all know the drill. I will be back for you on a weekly basis, giving you all that information. It will be a mix of Salespiration and the most important part, also dirty sales tricks. So we're gonna Figure out a content schedule for that and put it into use. Make your sales a valuable thing that people want to listen to your stuff. And then sales is about that people can buy from you and not that you have to sell them anything. So I hope to hear back from you and see you all soon in any kind of world all around feminist economy or empathic business, wherever we will meet again, and see you hopefully next week.